And Geovax Chairman and CEO David Dodd on the line with us. Now our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. David, good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
You're in a car right now. Where are you driving right now?
I'm driving from Beaufort, South Carolina to Atlanta, which is where our office and our laboratories are.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I bet you it's kind of warm there, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, 100 degrees today. So.
We're getting up to 90 here in Indiana, Pennsylvania, so I know in South Carolina, which I love, it's going to be a bit close, as Grandpapa used to say.
Exactly.
Hey, David, Geovax, of course, is a company. We've talked with you before. You're actually developing a COVID-19 vaccine and it's different from the ones that are on the market now, as I recall. Is that correct?
That is correct. The ones that are out there currently, they focus on inducing a strong antibody response. That gives you a very quick protection, and that's important. But that's all it does, and that's why they wane very rapidly. And that's one of the big challenges we've all now recognized. At 4 to 6 months, you have to start boosting. And what we have is a vaccine that's the first of what they call the next generation vaccine. It does the same thing as the Pfizer and Moderna in terms of the antibody response. So that's the same, but we also induce a very strong cellular or T cell response. T cells are important to clear the virus from the body and to give you durability. So we're looking at providing a much more robust, more durable, so longer term, hopefully annually, once a year shot at most, in terms of protecting against it. And it's also very important for those individuals. There are about 10 to 15 million people in the United States who have certain compromised immune systems from cancer treatment, dialysis, diabetes, other medical conditions. And we're focusing on providing a vaccine that will work very well for those people and yet be very safe and have minimal side effects. It's an existing technology that has been in humans for decades and has been shown to be extremely safe.
So in about a half a year since we last talked with you, I'm sure you've been making progress. And tell me about it. Are you getting closer to getting it actually approved and on the market?
Well, we're in what's known as a phase 2 trial among the immunocompromised patients. These are people who've had blood cancers and they've been treated. They have very weak antibody responses. That's continuing to be enrolled and to progress and all. We'll demonstrate, we hope, the same response initially as the Pfizer. We're doing a direct comparison against the Pfizer vaccine, but we anticipate it'll be much more durable and longer lasting, and that's where we'll have the advantage, especially for those individuals, people in those populations. We also are testing the same vaccine as an alternative booster for people who've either received the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine, because as we know, simply giving a third, fourth, or fifth shot, it still wanes at 4 to 6 months, and we believe with our vaccine being a different, broader-based vaccine, it'll give you a better booster, a more robust, more durable. So we have both trials are actively recruiting patients and injecting them, and we're following them right now, getting, right now all the data is showing what we hope to see, which is basically same type of immediate antibody response, but a more durable, a stronger cellular immunity, which gives you the durability and also can encompass broader variants as they emerge rather than having to go back to the drawing board and having to restructure and do a new vaccine.
I know you'd like to get in the game as quickly as you can, but as effectively as you possibly can as well. Let's talk about COVID vaccinations right now that are have been approved for administration to children under the age of 5. In your mind, with the vaccines that are on the market right now, is this a good idea?
I think parents should think about this and seek advice from the pediatricians, from the physicians to relate to their children. This is a very important issue because we know these are the lowest risk cohort in terms of developing COVID-19. I mean, it's minimal. It's minuscule to say the least, and all. And so from that standpoint, you've got to weigh the risk benefits. And there is not a great additional benefit here. It has not been demonstrated that these young children, for let's say from 5 to down to 6 months, that they're carriers of the virus. There's no data that really supports that. So we're not seeing that they're carriers of the virus to expose others. So this is something people need to think about long and hard. What we need to focus on, people with the other age spectrum and who have certain compromised immune systems or comorbidities. That's where we need to be focusing on.
One of the interesting things to me about all of this is the idea of a vaccine. We think of the polio vaccine and getting that very young and that lasting us a lifetime. We think of the measles vaccine and the various ones that we get as infants. And when we get them, then we're done with that for the rest of our lives and protected as far as can be protected against those particular illnesses and diseases. Do you see the day happening when that occurs in terms of COVID-19?
We do. And we are working right now. It's not into the clinic yet, but it's advancing. It's getting close, and it's a universal coronavirus vaccine, one that would be broader than just COVID-19. It would potentially be in a single dose. So far in animals, it's shown that the single dose is very effective, does what we want it to be, and we're completing the studies to submit for requests to take it into humans relatively soon. And from that standpoint, it might be an annual vaccine, but we would hope to see a single dose, broader vaccine that should other variants emerge throughout the year, and it may be longer term than just 1 year, that the vaccine would encompass those emerging variants because of the way we've designed it, rather than having to go back to the drawing board every time. So we do see that these next generation vaccines will be able to provide a more universal coverage for a much more durable time period, at least 1 year.
Coronavirus has been around for a very, very long time. We think of COVID-19 as being the offshoot of something that is brand spanking new, but coronavirus it's really a term for a condition or a virus that has, they've been working on this for centuries, it seems. How important of a game changer would it be to have a vaccine such as the one that you're talking about?
It'd be a major game changer because it could be broader than simply a COVID-19. It could also address the common cold potentially. And there's, as you say, coronaviruses are widespread. It's a large body of types of viruses and all. And if there is a universal, or they call it pan coronavirus is the term they're using, and from that standpoint, it would be a very broad-based coronavirus vaccine. And the goal is to have them effective for at least a year and hopefully longer, but time would tell on that. Obviously, we have to monitor people and make sure we understand the durability.
Knowing that is the case, Geovax has been working on various vaccines. I'm assuming that you have not just come into being right when coronavirus or COVID-19 jumped into the headlines. Geovax, tell me a little bit of the history of Geovax.
Sure. It was founded in 2001. It came out of Emory University. It was initially focused solely on developing a preventive vaccine for HIV. That's a very difficult virus. Today, we still have no preventive vaccine for HIV. And in around 2014, we began to broaden our focus, and we developed a portfolio of vaccines that have gone all the way through monkey tests or non-human primates for all the hemorrhagic fever, so Ebola, Zaire, Sudan, Marburg, etc. They have shown excellent protection against those. Those have been handled on our behalf by the federal government, and they're in discussions for further support and going forward. And so we've been using and perfecting an established technology. It's the same technology that is already approved for smallpox vaccine and monkeypox vaccine. We've demonstrated that some of our vaccines, for instance, for HIV, also protect against monkeypox. We recently pointed out that our COVID-19 vaccine is very likely to also prevent against monkeypox. And so we have expertise. We're experts in a particular type of vaccine technology. That's what the scientists in the company have been doing their entire careers. And we've been around and working and demonstrating this on Zika virus. We're working on malaria. We're working on hemorrhagic coronavirus. Even in cancer, we have cancer vaccines advancing to the clinic. We have another cancer vaccine that's a different technology that's already in the clinic addressing people with advanced head and neck cancer. So we have specialists in the company. I'm a general manager, so I don't bring much to the science, but I bring the people together who are terrific and that advance these types of innovations.
His name is David Dodd, spending some time with us here this morning, and we appreciate it. It's good to get that inside information because we're on the outside looking in at something with curiosity and with a little bit of anxiety as well. I know the whole world would love to have universal vaccines that you get them and you're done with them, and then you can move on with your life without having to worry about these diseases, and that's really the ultimate goal.
Exactly, that's exactly. And to be safe, we always say they need to be safe, they need to be single dose, we need to be able to administer them anywhere in the world, so they need to be able to be delivered without the extreme refrigeration or frozen state that we're seeing with the current COVID-19 vaccine. It does nobody any good if you can't administer it to people in need. And some of the vaccines today, you simply can't ship them around to different parts of the world and get them well administered. They require multiple doses in extreme frozen states. So we need to be able to deliver that. Our technology has been demonstrated to be able to be freeze-dried, which means you can ship them anywhere in the world, reconstitute, and vaccinate on site.
Company is called Geovax. He is David Dodd. I want to thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. We'll see you.
Bye.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160. AM 1160.